during the day and during the Megillah, the Megillah for Purim, Esther, is that one will not know the difference between Haman and Mordechai. So that means completely gone. And the idea behind it, I think, also is that we people sometimes we have things that bad times, and it can come in time that we are occupied by many things that reduce our ability to be happy. And the alcohol actually forces you once in a year to do that. So having said that, we are going to do today something special for Purim. We all know what is a Haman Tashen, or Oznei Haman. Ozen is ear. Haman, we all know who he was. And this is a very festive dish. Traditionally, we eat regular sweet dough. How do you say batzek parich? Cookie dough. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's a dough that usually you make cookies with. And you fill it with whatever you like, sweet, because it's happy. However, not always and all around the world they used to do them sweet. Some of the Ashkenazi made the kreplach, which is very close, which actually looks like a wonton, and it's filled with savory things. And we are going to do today a traditionally looking Haman Tashen. I'm sorry that we don't have much. I'll get closer. We don't have a lot because we ate all of them. We're working on this few days. So we were eating, and these are the zebras that left from what we did. And we are going to learn them, how to make them. So we are going to start with the savory ones. And the reason for that, it takes longer to bake. It's a very good basic dough that is very, very delicious. Even if you don't make from it Haman Tashen, you can just make crackers. Where are the crackers of this? Okay, so you can see, you can make crackers. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You see, they look, and they are really, they crumble in your mouth and they melt. And unlike normal crackers that you buy that are not made out of the best ingredients and difficult to find one with butter, this is the real deal. How do we start it? So first of all, this type of dough is best made in a food processor. And in order to do this, first, I'm going to put the flour. Now the flour, you can mix it with the whole flour if you like.
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat. Thank you, Adas. Or you can just use a regular rising flour. And we add the butter. No liquids whatsoever. This has to be without any moisture. We put it in. Maybe a little bit noisy. Let's see. First, I don't like to start it immediately with full force. I like to do pulses at the beginning at least. One important thing to know is that you want to put the butter not very cold. Ideally, at room temperature, it will make it to be the best. And what happened at the end when this is done? Actually, so you would need it actually cold.
I think is your microphone covered a little bit? I'm having trouble hearing you. The microphone might be up.
Yes, I said that we want to, for this specific dough, we want the flour, we want the butter to be cold actually, and not warm. And actually, even if it's room temperature, as long as it's not very soft. Cold is much better. Yeah. Yes, for this specific one. Yeah. Okay, so now the way that it looks, it's actually, because there is no moisture in it, I didn't put any water or I didn't put the egg yet, look how it looks. But rest assured, this is not a regular flour. It has the fat in it. So to that, we want to add I would add now the salt actually before. We have salt right here, and we want to add a teaspoon of salt. Salt is very important, even if you don't like salt, because in small quantities, it really actually bring flavors out, even on sweet dishes. So we add this. I will give it like a quick one, and then I will add the egg. That's it. Now we add the egg. Now, nothing is guaranteed that if I added the egg, this is going to be good enough and it will be a good dough for what we need. And the reason for that is our flour changes throughout the year. During the winter time, it is very dry, so everything dries out, including your flour. In the summertime, it's very humid. The more humid is the humidity there is in the flour, less chances that you'll need to add water, if at all. By the way, if you have, for example, almond or nuts or any of these, even crackers, and they are a little bit stale because they absorb some moisture, unlike in the summer, just lift up the cover and keep it out. In a day, they will be crisp as brand new because all the moisture will disappear. So we do that, and now we want to turn it on. It doesn't turn on. Now it will turn on. So now we mix it. Mix it, we mix it, we mix it. We added the egg, and it starts to get its shape. It starts to crumble a little bit. See? And the device, the machine, the food processor, working harder now.
I can't hear you again, I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Don't talk with the machine because they can't hear you.
Okay.
I think it's when the machine is going, yeah, the machine gets angry.
Okay. So now, how does it look? So if we look at it, it crumbles, it's okay. But it really, you know, if I'll kvetch it, it will look like a dough. You see, it does look like a dough because now it's enough. But it's a little bit too dry. And now the amount of water that you add is very, very little. I would say a tablespoon to maximum 2. So when you need definitely cold, everything is cold. So we're going to take 2, this is the dairy. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon and see how it goes. Sorry, Adas. I'll add a little bit more. Just there.
No. First use 1 and then.
Okay. Just I'm excited.
Yeah, but you don't want.
It's very dry.
Yeah, but when you add the other.
It does want a little bit more. Still breaks. I'll add another tablespoon. It was very dry. And I'm not surprised because this is winter. The average humidity in the house is 30%, maybe, if not less. And the flour is dry. Okay, now this is with 2 tablespoons. You see how it jumps and jumps and jumps and jumps? As long as we don't have loose particles, which we don't. See, this is how it looks. It really crumbles. But when you make a shape with it, if you make a shape, you can work it. However, I will add a little bit more water to make it stick. A little bit more water. And a little bit more water, just a little. So the idea is really, this was half teaspoon. The idea is really to know how the dough is supposed to look at the end. And I'll show you how it's supposed to look. Yeah. Now we want to add this. And this is the mix of the spices that you have. And we just throw them in. Now, if you like other things, if you like oregano, by all means, you can put oregano. For example, if you like oregano, I don't know where it is, but we have a bottle of liquid, actually, water, that they put the oregano in it for a long time, and then you get oregano water. And then you can add just a tablespoon brings all the flavor that you need in the bowl. Okay, now you see how it crumbles and crumbles and crumbles, the whole thing. Now we want to add to this also garlic, but only if you like garlic, of course. So we add the garlic. And
Can I ask, that mix of the seasonings was paprika and pepper?
Yes, you mean a mixture of paprika. The smoked paprika is actually the best, and the pepper. This is the type of dough that we put in, but it's not set in stone. You can do whatever you like. If you like a different spice, same ratio, different spices. Okay, so this is good. Okay. So I'll have to get it to you. Okay. Okay, so if you look at it, it's not mixed well yet. Give it another quick mix, but the dough is perfect. Yes. Okay, so look at this dough. I'll hold it over the bowl so you can see. Sorry. All right, so you see, if you look at it like this, it really doesn't look that much of a dough. You see that it breaks. It's not like bread dough or something like that. But that's the secret of this thing, because this, once it's baked, no matter if you're doing with it, you see, if I kvetch it like that, if I kvetch it, you see, it gets a shape. Once you kvetch it, or when you roll it.
And after cooling down in the...
Exactly, and after cooling down, also everything looks better. But this is the way that you want it. If you feel that it's like too smooth and too creamy, then what's going to happen is that it will not be as good. You really want to have it look crumbly, but with the ability to put it together if you put pressure. So this is what it is. Now, with this, you don't need to make even the hammer pattern. As I said, you can just roll it, cut it into small, thin wafers, square wafers, and put on it za'atar if you like, or sesame, perfect, and it works. However, we are going to make a filling for it. So we are going to do something very close to what we did with the breakfast.
Not with this, no. You have to cool this down. You have to put this in the refrigerator.
I know, I'm just cleaning it to use the...
I thought...
just took it out, of course.
I thought
But
you were
you think
going
that I'm
to
going to mix the cheese with this?
No, I thought you were going to use it for...
No. So I'm going to put it away. I can put it right here.
No.
It's supposed to go to the refrigerator.
No. Put it in a saran.
You're right. Oh. Yes. Okay, those who know me, you know that I'm not the most organized, but this is why I have the dust to help me do things the right way. So if just I wanted to throw the dough somewhere out here, because we are not going to use this dough. Why we are not going to use this dough? The reason that we are not using this dough is because it has to rest in the refrigerator.
For how long? How long?
The cool temperature. However, Adas prepared a dough ahead of time, and we're going to use that.
How
so
long?
this is
Cantor, how long? Can you hear me, Cantor?
An hour to 2 hours.
Yeah.
In the refrigerator for an hour to 2. But if you see how it looks, can you move a little bit the camera here?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see this, you see that it doesn't look that see it's crumbled, but don't worry about it. Once it cools and once it's together, it will hold very well. And this is the secret of this dough. Sometimes things that don't look right are exactly what they're supposed to be. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and I'm going to be very careful that it will not leak, so I'm not getting into trouble. Passes, Adas? Passes. Okay. Now, we have one that is prepared. So this was sitting in the refrigerator for 2 hours, Adas, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see how this one looks, see, it has the shape. Now we are going to make the mixture. I'm going to use the same bowl. Why not?
No, you don't need just a spoon. You don't need this.
Okay, I'll do it with this.
No, it makes a lot of noise. They can't hear you. It's not.
Okay. So what do we want? This mixture doesn't have to be precise at all. It's whatever you like. but I would say this. The main ingredient here is the mozzarella. So I'm going to take like a handful. Something like that. Let's call it 1 cup. It all depends how many touching you want to make. So I'll put like 1 cup. Then to that, I will add some feta cheese because we like the flavor of feta cheese. Now I need to crumble this inside. We want to crumble the cream cheese.
Feta? Feta cheese?
Feta, what did I say? Cream. Wait. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to use more. So I would say half of the amount of the mozzarella, you put feta. So here you have a ratio. You can choose how much you put, but half feta, 50% feta compared to 100% this. I didn't say it right. Okay, then we want to add 1 tablespoon of Greek yogurt, or if you don't have Greek yogurt, cottage will do it too. But cottage doesn't have the sting that this thing has. So I would add 1 of those. Like that. And an egg is optional, but most don't do eggs. If you want, you can add an egg, but you don't have to. And this thing I'm going to mix like that. The benefit of using, forgive me Adas, if I use the food processor, I will not make my hands so dirty, but it's okay.
You're using the spoon. I don't know why your hands get
Never mind. Here it is. So it's supposed to look something like that. You see, it has some kind of consistency. It doesn't have to be, you don't want it to be liquidy because this is going to melt regardless. Now, to this, by all means, you can add a garlic into this mixture and it will add a lot. No need to add salt, but definitely pepper will do something good here. So I will put some pepper. And again, if you don't like the sting, if you don't like spicy, then skip the pepper. I will find it.
Or you can use the shaker that we have on the...
Shaker, 1 second. Hold on. Where is you're breaking my neck?
I don't know.
Oh, did you throw it out?
I don't know, Manny.
Okay, let's keep the pepper, but I had a very cool pepper grinder that looks like a male doll, like a man, like a chef. And when you twist his head, actually it's grinder, and it says, "You're breaking my neck. You're breaking," as you twist it. But I cannot show you this gadget. But so I will skip the pepper. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this flat. I would say 0.5 centimeter or maybe 1/4 inch. If you can, we add a little bit of flour because we don't want this to stick. Even though I'm using a parchment paper, which is always a good idea, even if you do this. Yes, and now we roll it. Remember, this is cold, so it's harder, and it's harder to roll because it's cold and the butter is cold. But, and again, the harder you have to work at it, the better it is, actually. You need to roll. Now, if it's too hard for you to roll, like I'm now fighting with it, just let it cool a little bit. If you let it cool, warm. If you bring it to room temperature or a little bit less, it will be much easier to work with. Okay, but don't make it warm. You still need the butter to be solidified. Okay, so we take this. Actually, this is a small amount of dough. So from the amount of the recipe, you get more than double than this. Now, once I'll have a little bit more. You see that it breaks a little bit on the side, but I'm not worried about it because once I make the circles and I'm making what I need, I can roll it again and again and again and again. The glass that we were using, that is this one. Okay, so this circumference is the size that we are going to use, and this is relatively small. You can make it bigger or smaller. So we cut a circle. This is 1. We take 2. See, this is 2. This is 3. This. Okay. And let's make another one. We don't need to make many. This is the 3rd one. And the rest, we just take it and we work it to make some more. We can make as many as we want. You see, this is ready for another one. Now look at this dough. It doesn't look crumbly at all compared to the one that is now in the refrigerator, because not only the butter is getting cooled, everything is absorbed. The moisture is absorbed into the flour, and it tastes better, and it's also easier to work with. So we are going to work with these 3. Now I'm going to roll it a little bit more and open it. I want to make it a little bit bigger, okay? Because I also want it. So as you see, they became quite big. So I would say next time I would use a smaller circle. This one. Okay. Good. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this. I just rolled it a little bit too much. That's it. Now, what happened with the other one that was screwed, I just rolled it too much. And once you roll it too much and it got stuck to this, so I'm going to add some flour. And I'm going to do this one. 1, 2, that's it, not more than that. Now, once we have the circle, we want to fill it. So we take some of the cheese, we put it inside like that, that's enough. And we close it. Now, if you want to minimize the chance that this thing will open, and I don't have any problem when it gets open, because when it's open, you can see actually the cheese inside. But if you don't want it to be open, you want less chances it will open, what you do, you just take a little bit of the protein of the egg, or if you insist, you can use a whole egg if you don't want to use this.
Egg whites.
Egg whites. And then when you stick it together, it will stay longer. Less chance that it will break. And what we do this. 1, okay? And then we close it like this. And what I want to do, I really want to kvetch it well if I want less chances that it will open. Okay? So actually, can they see the actual thing? I think if you move a little bit to here. No, the camera?
No, it's okay.
No?
Let's see.
Okay. So if you can see how I do it, you put it right in the center. As I said, I'm putting on the side the egg whites, and we close it. I close it like this, and I close it like this. And if they are closer, you see what I do here? I close it and bring it inside a little bit even. More chances that it will, less chances that it will open. You see, I'm closing it like this. I want it to stay closed and not open, if I can. Okay, and I'm putting a little bit more just to help it stay close. And I put another one.
And the one with the sesame, show them with the sesame.
Definitely. So another way to do it, we take this side, we put it on the bottom like that, and then you see they stuck, they stick. If we want it to stick even more, we can put the egg yolk and the egg white here, and then it will, more of them will stick, like that. See, now it looks like this, and this if you want to use the sesame, but if you like, you can use the za'atar. Za'atar is a very popular thing with savory things. So here it is, and now I'm going to close it. Again, this one has a little bit too much, put a little bit less, and we put it like this, and I close it. I'll add the yolk now, actually, because I prefer that they will not open, just to make them look different than the other ones. Okay, so I'm just, you see what I do? I'm just closing it and bring it here to help it, to convince it not to be opened. Okay, this is it. Now, what do we do with the rest? So as I said, we can do anything we want, from fill it with whatever we like, or let's do just the crackers. So I'm taking this and I'm breaking it, making it, it doesn't matter what shape I make, but we want it as thin as we can, I think. And this is how it looks. And now I just need to cut it.
You can use the pizza cutter or a
knife.
Or a cookie cutter.
Cookie cutter. So you see, I just cut it like this. Cut it like this. It doesn't matter. Like that. Like that. I will brush it with some of the white. Then I can add the sesame so it will stick. Like that. Okay? And we add the sesame, and the sesame adds a lot. And by the way, as I said to you, za'atar is a great, great thing to add to this thing. Very, very cool. And now I just take them like this, and I just put them here. This is, if you make those crackers, and this is as fresh as you can imagine. This is not like something that you buy in a bakery, even in a bakery. It's as fresh as can be because you just made it from the best ingredients you saw. And then once you have the crackers, you put on it a little bit of cream cheese and a piece of smoked salmon that you made yourself, which I taught you last year. And this is going to be incredible. So when this is ready, we're taking this and we put it in the oven, a preheated oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 20 minutes, maybe. Let's check in 20 minutes. So here it is. This is how it looks. Let's hope for the best. Okay. And we put it here.
Put timer so we won't forget, please.
20?
Yeah. Maybe the crackers a little bit less.
20, we check. Right, so as I said, I still am not sure that I remember how I knew how this type of dough is called in English, but I don't remember now. However, in Hebrew, it's called crumbled dough. Why? Because it does crumble. Even when you eat it, it breaks into small pieces and makes a lot of mess, but the flavor is delicious. This is done. And now, we're going to go to the zebra. And the zebra is very special. For that, we need to go to this station. Okay, maybe so, from here?
No, I think here is...
here? Okay.
Yeah, that's what
very good.
Okay, so maybe you want to move this device. Yeah.
I move.
Okay.
And bring it over here. Okay. We have to put it in. And we put it here. Now, first, we want to mix the butter and the powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is going into the mix. We add the butter all the way here. And the butter has to be soft in this one. So it's out for a few hours. We add the whole amount, and I wanted to show you something. The butter that we use usually, we want to spread it. And if we take it out of the refrigerator, butter is very cold and very, very hard, very difficult to smear it. So ideally, you want to keep the butter soft. But if you leave it outside, especially in the summer when it's a little bit warmer, you'll have mold and it will go bad. However, there is something that was invented by the Dutch. I don't know if you ever seen something like this, but we use it a lot because I like to spread the butter when it's soft. So what is special about this device? You see, it goes like a cup that is upside down. Put it upside down. You put the butter into this cup. Inside this container, there is water. I don't know if you can see the water. Can you see the water, Adams?
I don't know. Yeah, I think,
yeah. So this is the water in up to a level. Once you put it on top of this, the water seals the whole thing. So the water really touched the butter, but water doesn't mix with fat, obviously. So nothing happens to the butter. Once you take it out, there is no water here at all. So, but then you have very soft butter. So I know I spent some time on this one, but it's important. At least for me. So I'm adding this. This is part of the butter that I was laying down. And we add it here like that. Okay? And now, once this is here, we put it on low. We put it on low. And maybe 2. And we let it move around. Why did we stop? I know. I had a mess. The problem was it didn't work. So I moved it instead of speed 2 to speed 6 or 7. And it created the whole havoc in this thing. Okay. It's almost ready.
But you still, it's better to give it 2 minutes.
Yes. So we want to give it 2 minutes. And actually, this is ready. I will show you how it's supposed to look. So, okay. So it's supposed to look like this. You see? Very smooth and very creamy. It doesn't matter if we have some of the, not everything is mixed, but as long as everything is creamy. And if you want to really follow the rules, put it 2 minutes. So we put it like this, and now we add 1 egg. 1 egg to the mix. We want to add 1/3 of the amount of the flour that we're using. We don't want to overwhelm it with everything. So we put 1/3 dairy. I'm going to put approximately 1/3. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit more. Approximately. We add this, and we can add a little, we add the vanilla extract. We can, a teaspoon, but it's approximate. And we lift it back, and we bring it back. And we want to let it mix. Now, the idea behind, I hope you can hear me now with the noise. Michelle, am I heard? Is the mixer making a lot of noise? Or
No,
okay?
you're okay right now. Yeah.
Appearing now, okay. So what is the story behind this ham and tashin? So you have 2 colors, obviously, the white, which is regular dough, and the other one is made just with the plain cocoa. So the cocoa make it dark, and then we put them together and we create this thing, this special dough that once we bake it, we see all the shapes. So the easiest way to make it dark is with cocoa. So this is already done and smooth. I don't need to take it out. It looks like it looked before, but with the flour. Now we want to add everything else. So we want to add all the left, whatever we didn't add. And you remember that I said to you that salt is very important? So I will add to this 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We don't need it salty. We just want to bring all the flavors together. So 1/4 of a teaspoon is enough. Yeah, and then we lift it up, and we continue doing it again. And slowly, slowly, it does its thing. And it's going to get a shape very quickly. We'll do it, let it work on 2. So in the meantime, until this is ready, let's talk a little bit about Purim. So this is an unusual year because it's a leap year. When we have a leap year, we have 13 months. And the months that they decided to double was the month of Adar. Therefore, Purim will always be on the 2nd Adar, number 2. However, I don't know if you knew, there is, once we have a leap year, we have what is called small Purim, Purim Katan. And this small Purim will appear on Adar 1, exactly on the day as the first Adar. And the reason that the rabbis decided to make a Purim Katan, a small Purim, was because it's clearly said in the Bible, and that before the design of our calendar now, that Purim will be on the 12th month. Now, the year starts from the month of Nisan, where Pesach is, and the month before Nisan is Adar. So if this is the case, then it's debatable to do it on the first or the second. So we do it on the second because this is the right date. But on some people celebrate Purim, a small Purim. Purim, as I said, is a very, very important holiday. It's not from the Torah. It's not like Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. It came later. And it's part of 7 basic mitzvahs that we are obligated that are not in the Torah. For example, all the blessings that we have. When we eat something, we have to make a blessing. This is not in the Torah. Lighting at Shabbat candle, it's not in the Torah. An Eruv, when you put around a city or a town a wire to make it one piece, it's not in the Torah. The Hallel, the prayer of the Hallel is not in the Torah. And also Purim and Hanukkah, they were added. So they are very, very important, but they are not mentioned in the Torah. Okay, this is done. Okay, so we have the dough. Very different texture than the other dough, but at the same type. Okay, we can take it out. And I will leave this because I will need it in a second. And this is how it looks. You see, it's smoother than the other one. You see how but it's nothing like a dough that you make bread, for example. As you can see, it doesn't crumbles, but it's very good. Now we can go to the other side. Now we take, right. So this is the regular dough that we are going to use. We are going to take, I'm going to take half of it. Okay, this is how it looks. Yeah, I forgot to make that out. So I'm going to take approximately half of it. So I'm going to put everything here. One second, I'm just putting it on the counter. Okay, so I'm going to bring it here. Okay, so this is the dough. I'm going to bring everything out. As sticky as it is, it really doesn't stick much to the hands because it is also fatty. So this is the dough, okay? This is the amount. It is very, very soft dough. Very, very, a lot of fun just to touch it. So if you like to play with your hands and touch things, this is so soft. I bought a therapeutic clay dough to give my bar mitzvah students and the kids. Very expensive. It looks the same. It feels the same. It's just made out of silicone. Okay, so I'm taking half of it and I'm leaving it here, right here. And the rest, make it happen. And this is going to the refrigerator because I won't be able to work with this. It's too slow. I'm throwing it back here. And I'm going back here. I'm putting it here. Okay, so this is the dough. Now I'm going to add the cocoa. Now, what is the cocoa? First, let's add it. So I'm going to put 1/4 cup of cocoa. So I'm taking 1/4 cup of cocoa. And once again, even this, everything is approximate. Okay? And I'm adding it here. Look how dark is this cocoa. Very, very dark cocoa. And I will explain about it in a minute. And put it back so it will be less noisy. Pick it up. Put it on 2. Let it do its thing. So what is a cocoa powder? So, you know, there are the cocoa beans and they take the nibs, which is the small parts, and they let them dry and then they roast them and then they roast them. And in these nibs, you have inside the nib that has cocoa butter and the cocoa liqueur, everything together. So what they do, they press all the cocoa butter out. This is for cocoa powder. And then you get only the cocoa liqueur and they dry it out. And there you have a cocoa powder. Regular cocoa powder is very acidic and very, very bitter and relatively light in color. It's not as dark as this one. in 1800s, I don't remember exactly when and what's the name of the guy, but he invented the Dutch technique to make Dutch cocoa. And what Dutch cocoa is that it's much less, it's actually neutral. It's not acidic at all. Because it's not acidic, it's not that sour and it's less bitter. They just remove it in an alkali bath. And it's sweeter and mellower. Like in everything in life, there are cons and pros. So the con is not that it's more expensive, actually they cost the same, even though I prefer this one, but if your recipe is called for baking soda, this will not work because for baking soda, you need the acidic. And this is why regular cocoa powder works very, very well with the, okay, it's ready. If you, beautiful. Okay. So, and this smells like heaven. We can go there. Yeah, I want you to see how it looks. Look how nice, how dark is this thing is. It's like black almost. And this is the cocoa powder, the Dutch. When you go, if you want to buy it, Dutch cocoa, if you're making like a cocoa drink, only use this. So you have two types. This is very easy to get. This is Hershey Cocoa. They call it special dark, but what exactly it means that it's Dutch processed. And this, if you like high end, if you like higher quality, this is Valrhona. A higher, much better. A little bit more expensive. This was maybe $3.50. This was maybe $7, double the price. But what I've learned that sometimes double the price is not that bad because it lasts for very, very long. Okay. By the way, this is regular cocoa powder, which I don't like. And this, I wish I could show you the color inside. I don't know if you can see. Can they see the color inside? You see, this is much lighter in color. Okay. So since I cannot use these because they are, these are the good ones. It's too cold. This is too cold. This was tough to work with before, but I will figure it out. Okay, so I want to put a little bit of flour here. And I need to break the resistance. Now the problem, let's see what's going on with these. Oh, a little bit longer. So what we want to do, we want to roll them. And the thing is, as I said before, because it is so cold, then I have difficulties to roll it, but I'm not giving up. It's just a matter of being persistent and use force and use my body weight. You see what I do? When I've learned in my early 20s, I learned acupressure for 2 years. Acupressure is what's called shiatsu. It's a Chinese type of a massage, exactly like the acupressure with the needles, but this goes with pressure and point of pressures. And they taught us there that you have to press sometimes hard, but you don't press with your hand, you use your body. And once you use your body, you can be thin and small and still you can make an impact, a big impact. Here we have it. So you see, it doesn't look as nice. As I said, it's good. You have to really put it together, but that's not a big deal. And it doesn't have to be that precise. Remember, when you're going to make the recipe, you're going to have double the dough, and then it will be much easier to do everything here. So this is it. Now, the thing is that I don't want this to separate from the cocoa one. So what I will do, I will put a little bit water on it so it will stick. Now I brought another one. Let's do the dark. Okay. And look how dark it is. It's like a piece of chocolate, but it's not. It just looks like chocolate. But actually, even this, if you eat it raw, it will taste good. Okay, so now I want to break it. Now, what I've learned in the first batch that we made, that because the cocoa one is so much, has all the pigmentation and the dark always will absorb bright colors, I would either make this thinner I don't know if I even can because the other one is very thin. But this needs to be a little bit thinner because this takes much more color. See, I'm using my body. The moment I use my body, everything is better. See, it actually really feels like soft chocolate. You have to work and work and work, but actually it's a good exercise. As we talk about this, we continue. So as I do this, let me tell you about the 4 most important things and the 4 things that we must do on Purim. There are 4 things. First of the things is to hear the Megillah. The second thing is to have a festive meal, very big one. I remember in my childhood, we would go to my uncle for years and he would have like a Pesach, big, but without the Haggadah. Big, and they drink and they have a lot of fun. And then 2 more important things in my mind is one to give the Mishloach Manot. Obviously, you know what Mishloach Manot is, and giving charity. Charity on Purim is very, very critical. And I think the reason behind it, to force everyone to give charity, even if you have very, very little and you give very little, is to make you feel that no matter how poor you are, you can give to somebody else something. So I think it's a very, very good thing. So I put it like this. I made it as thin as I could. I forgot to put flour underneath, but it will be still okay. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to wet it very little because I don't want them to stick. They have to stick to each other. So I'm just going to add some moisture. And I'm going to take this dough and I'm going to put it on top. Oy vey. Okay, I put it like this. Now, when you're going to do it, you'll have more time and you will make it more precise. But now, I don't need to make too many hamantash. I just need to make 2. So you see, I'm rolling it over this, like that. And what we can do, we don't have to, we just cut the leftovers. So it will be easier to roll. Thus you're going to check. I'm going to take this and add this here, like make a patch like that. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to make a patch from that, like here. Is it ready, Adas? 2 more minutes. Okay, now we have this. Now, as I said, ideally, if you want to make it as like nice, when you cut it, you can cut it like this, so you have perfect thing and roll it. I don't care that I have a leftover that is going to look like a tail. So what? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to kvetch it a little bit so it will stick, and I'm starting to roll it. Roll it together, and then we get a zebra. Now, if you were thinking, why does zebra have those stripes? Well, 2 reasons. First of all, no 2 zebras are alike because the pattern is unique to any zebra. And the second reason is the shape, the geometrical, these shapes are very difficult to the predators to see, especially when they are running and they're chasing. So this is first a protection mechanism. And the second thing, to help the calves of the zebra to identify quickly the mother from far away. By the way, if you were wondering, again, camouflage, white tigers have orange color. Orange in the grass pops out. The reason for that is that their main predator, which is the deers and boars, they have a problem. They can see, they don't see the red and the blue. So the stripe, actually the tiger looks almost green, and those stripes look like parts of the plants and the grass. And this is all God's creation. I think it's amazing. Now, once you have this, you see, this is how it should look. And now we want to cut it. I'm going to use a sharper knife. And this will work because this is carved. So I'm going to cut it. I need a sharp knife, but carved. So I'm going to use my fish knife. Okay, I'm cutting them like this. Okay, like this. And I'm not going to do all of them, of course, because of time restriction. But if you look at it, this is how it looks. Let me show you how nice. See? This is so cool. A lot of fun to make it, I have to say. I have to say it's really a lot of fun to make it. So once we made these, we want to roll them again. So we're spreading a little bit of flour here and we roll them. And that's the, what should we call it? You want to check?
You
checked. Okay, good. Okay,
you
so
want
you
to
see,
put them one to next.
they break, but it will be fine. Okay, so look, see how it looks? Now, as you can see in this mixture, the black, the cocoa one took really over. Look at this, how dark it is. But I'm not worried yet. We're going to take this one and I'm going to roll it and put it like this. You see, you have much more of the dark color compared to the bright. Okay, so we make another one. We'll take another one. I'll put a little bit more of this. And we put it like this. I put it like that. You see, this is even better. But what I had to do in order to make it better is to make the, okay, this is very good. See, this is very good. And we'll take another one. And then I'll tell you what I do. I break it like this. And like this. Open it as much as I can. And this one. And this one. And now, what will happen now if we will fill it, we will not get a zebra, we will get rounds. We don't want that, we want zebras. So in order to make zebra, we kind of need to attach them. It doesn't matter exactly how, as long as you brush them. Like this, see? I add it like this and like this. Okay, and I'm adding this one here too. Okay? Like that. Just put it underneath like this. Okay.
We have a question about how thick or thin should the dough be sliced for the zebras and rolled?
Okay, so I did it like maybe almost an inch. I would say something like this. I would say less than an inch, two quarter of an inch, or even less. It doesn't matter because you're going to roll it and then you're going to connect them. So if you made a very thick roll, then once you spread it, it will be bigger. The thinner you make them, the smaller the circles will be, and then once you get the shapes, you'll have more of a zebra-like, I think. Okay, so we make one, we make two, we cut them like this.
Could the camera go down a little bit?
Sure.
And of course, when we make them, we will be more, we will cut them close to each other so we get more. And once we are done, we are going to break it, put it together and make more. Now the thing is, remember that now, once I'm going to crumble it, it's not going to be as, you don't want to do it too much, but now you have less of the pattern. Okay, so now you have this, you want to choose the better side. Okay, this maybe is the better side. This one, look how nice this one. This is really a zebra. It's all a matter of practice. We didn't make it too many times. But if you see this side is not as nice, oops. So this side is not as nice as this side. So we want this to be out. We put it out and let's look at this one. This one will be this. So what do we do with this? We just open it like this. Now, as you see in the recipe, you can use anything. You can use jelly, you can use date paste. We really like Nutella. We believe that Nutella is a very simple thing that works always. So we put a little bit Nutella in the center. And we put a little one in the center of this guy. And we put a little bit on this guy. I knew that if I use this finger, I'm going to, yummy. Okay, now we know how to close. We just close it.
So tell them again how you fold them, like two sides and then the third one. Tell them how you fold the Hamantaschen. You didn't tell them how you fold them, how you make the shape, the triangle.
That's what I'm doing now, right?
Yeah, but explain
I thought
them.
I did before.
No.
Thank you, Adas.
Yeah.
So how do we make the shape? So as you see, as I did before, we close it like this, all the way up to the middle.
Two sides.
Two sides, and then we go to the other side. If we overfill, then we have to go a little bit and do this. And you see, this one is really a zebra. I mean, don't expect it to run like a zebra or to act like a zebra. But, okay, so this is good. Yeah, and we take this one and we close it and we put it like this. Now, I'll tell you this. Okay. This is it. So I'm going to take them, put them here. See how they look. They have this zebra pattern here. And once this is not as nice, this didn't get attention when he was young. That's it. Now, in this we put into the oven. Now, what we can do, if you like, a lemon. Don't add a lemon, definitely not one like this. Okay, so now, after joking, we take this 4 Hamantaschen, put them in the oven. We take them all, and where are the other ones?
The ready ones?
Yes, the ready ones. No, the savory ones. They're out.
They're out, yeah, there.
Where?
Just,
here it is, huh? No,
hot.
No.
Hot.
Okay, so here is how it looks. So as you see, some of them opened a little bit more, some of them opened less. This one looks like a volcano. So, and this one a little bit too. But you saw I put really a lot and everything is actually hidden inside. And this, look how thick it is, but when you break it, this breaks in your mouth and melts all the butter. Immediately you get into a room temperature and it melts. And that's it. This is the shape.
How long do you bake the zebras?
Zebra.
And what, just a minute. And what oven temp?
I will say it only if you come and stand next to me. So if I'm right, that's 350, like 15 minutes?
Yeah, around it.
350 degrees, 15 minutes. It's always good to check what's going on. And when it's done, you can very gently sprinkle it with the sugar powder, but it may take away some of this zebra effect. Regarding the flavor, they are very, very good because it has very chocolatey flavor. Whatever you put the filling in it, I will always be biased towards the recipe of the Hamantaschen that we did last year, that Adas is doing for many, many, many years. So this has a very strong effect of looks. It's really delicious dough. It's much better than anything that you buy in a supermarket. Nothing to compare. But the one from last year, a little bit better, I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other questions? Michelle?
I'm looking. I do not see anybody else. I think I love putting that you put the twist on the Hamantaschen. I think it's
yes, it's definitely a conversational starter. Once you put them out and you make them, people are going to say, "Hey, how did you do it?" And you show them how you did it. But the idea is really in the ratio when you make it a little bit less of the darker should be a little bit thinner when you roll them, because the darker can take over the white. Let me give you an example that we had that we baked before.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, these are good. They were,
that's like the second and the third batch. So
second batch.
Yeah.
Yes, second, third batch means when you're starting to use this, after you make the first batch, then obviously, again, you see how the cocoa one is really swallowed the white. Yeah. That's the nature of things. That's okay. And that's, yeah, why did you go away?
All right, so that's that. That's that. I'll make the zebra.
Bob's
Pardon?
making the zebra.
No, we're muted.
I heard zebra.
Yeah, Bob is going to do zebra.
Oh, no, Roberta's going to do it.
Right.
Okay, let us know how.
You know what? I have an idea. Robert, you make male zebras, Haman Tashen, and Roberta will make female zebra. And I will tell you later how to make it male.
No, I know how.
No, he's going to do it. Yeah.
Yes, this is wonderful. And I just wanted to add that, and this is the way I believe things, that in every sweet there is some sourness or saltiness. You saw I added salt to this cookie. And that's the reason that we break a glass when we have a chuppah, because we want to remember the sad stuff in our life. It's not just sweet and sour, it's not only a Chinese recipe, I say it many times. And when Purim comes, we should be very, very happy. But again, we have to keep our prayers to the rest. Some people in the world that are not fortunate to have our routine life. Even we complain about this and about that. Now you can really, it's not a cliche. You open the news and just imagine what happened to you. So I have a lot to say about Purim, but this will be for a different time. So
Thank you.
If this is it, let's see what with the cookies, and then we will release.
Thank you to you and Hadass as always. It's always so great. So thank you.
You know, I'll take them out. They changed a little bit. It's not ready yet, but it's on the way.
Which one is that?
Okay, so one of them was didn't go away. But if you can see, look at this one. You see? This one. They are very, very nice. Look, this is not something that on our regular menu. So we don't do it. This is our kind of almost
it looks
first
like
time.
a chocolate
But I'm sure that once you do it, once you make it as you go, you'll figure out to make it better than what I managed to do. I'm sure.
Next year in Jerusalem.
Huh?
Next year in Jerusalem.
May God help. Yes, so I want to thank Hadass for everything.
July.
And nothing would happen without Hadass. Thank you, Michelle, for making sure that it goes smoothly. And thank you all for joining us.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Happy Purim.
Wait, let me say to you in the face and look at you too.
Thank
Yes,
you.
happy Purim.